Hello, 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 and welcome back to my channel. Today, I wanted to tell you guys about how the progress is coming along with my investigation into this crime ring, this Jamaican crime ring that has ravished my family. And when I call it a Jamaican crime ring, I mean literally the crime ring is based in Jamaica. It's 876 scam. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but it is literally a Jamaican crime ring. So I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being serious. Um, this thing, I'm sharing this experience because if you have an elderly person in your family, or maybe someone suffering from dementia, or maybe someone in your family that is just a vulnerable adult in any way, shape, or form, you might want to keep an eye out for them, the people they're talking to on the phone, the mail they're getting, the activity on their bank account, whatever the case is, just to make sure they're not falling victim to a scam like this. And there are several scams coming out of that area and other areas. I mean, scams, come on, face it, they're rampant all over the globe, but it's so draining. I had the longest day, actually the longest month ever, but today I just wanted to hop on here and share my experience because I believe that, like I said, it could help someone else. I have a part 1 and a part 2 up about this journey with this Jamaican scam ring. This particular segment is dealing with the theft of this family member's social security disability benefits. Literally, their entire benefit was stolen by these scammers. And that is very serious because when you have a person in your family that lives on disability, they depend on that check for their survival, their existence, their food, their shelter, their electricity, their medicine, all of the above. You really don't want to see that get stolen from them. But in this situation, that's exactly what happened. So, along with having money stolen from them throughout the years, or throughout the year at least, in small segments, we literally had them finally come in and just take everything, including their entire benefit. How did this happen? I finally found out how the fraudsters got their hands on this relative's social security benefit. And that's why I'm making this video. It's pretty scary. Sorry, I gotta pop up. So, what happened is, like I said, go back and watch at least the first video to see how this relative got involved in these scams, or what kind of scams they were involved in, and how any kind of phishing scam, any kind of social engineering scam is going to leave your relative or loved one vulnerable. Because with a phishing scam or social engineering situation, that's how a fraudster obtains your personal information, social security number, your mother's maiden name, your address, your phone number, whatever they need to basically come in and steal your identity. Steal whatever they need to steal from you. Bank account information, credit card information, whatever the case is. So in this situation, we already know this person had identity theft, which I'm still digging into because there's even more things popping up. But again, let me try to stay focused on this. What these fraudsters did, and it took me this whole entire month to figure this out, because let me tell you the layers of bullcrap I had to go through to get this answer. I would call Social Security office, be on hold for 40 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it was that day. I'm telling you, there's no quick call to the Social Security office. And you can't go down there because you have to make an appointment to go down there. Because there's an office not that far from where I live. You call, you finally get someone on the phone, and then they sit on the phone and tell you they don't know anything, and they sit there typing on their computer, and then they say, you're going to have to call the bank, and they're going to have to trace it. Okay, I already talked to the bank, and they said to call you. Oh, well, the bank's going to have to trace that. They have a department that does that. Really, I used to work at a bank. You're the one that needs to trace that. You're the one that sent it. You know where you sent it. And if I'm telling you it never came to their bank account, it never made it there, and their bank's saying that it never made it there, then the responsibility falls on you, Social Security Administration, to trace where it went. But then they just keep pushing it back to the bank. So then I go back to the bank, and the bank, boop, hit the tennis ball back over to the other side of the court. Nope, got to call Social Security Administration. Go back on 2-hour wait time. Get Social Security Administration. Boop, get it back to the bank. Oh, nope, got to call Social Security. Boop, hit it back to Social Security. Literally, it's like tennis. I'm telling you, this is exhausting. So finally, we're coming towards the end of February. I still don't have an answer. This person hasn't had a check all month. And I'm like, March is coming. They're not going to have their check for March, if we don't have a resolution to this and know where this money went and where next month is going to go. Somebody needs to tell me something. So I took a day off work, took my relative down to the bank. And thankfully, we had a very nice, wonderful, wonderful, helpful person there. We all sat in her office for 4 or 5 hours today. I didn't bring my lunch because I was starving. My head hurts, still hurts. I am going to take some Tylenol and go to bed when I'm done with this video. I might have to drink a glass of wine, but we sat in there all day. Called the Social Security Administration together because that way they couldn't say, go call your bank again. It's wasted a whole month of that, okay? We called together. Finally got someone on the phone after 2 hours of waiting for someone to pick up. Thankfully, like I said, I had a very patient banker. Someone picked up. And finally, after all this time, now it's almost the end of February, the person that picked up while I had the bank there and my relative, we're all three together on the phone with Social Security Administration. They finally said, well, on blah, blah, blah date, someone called in and changed the payment method to the Direct Express card. So they took it off bank direct deposit and it got rerouted to the Direct Express card. That's why I didn't go to your bank. Really? So you mean all them times I've been calling, you've been telling me to call the bank, and now you're saying, now that the bank's sitting here, it never went to the bank. Went to your Direct Express card because you're saying that my relative requested this. But she's sitting here too. And she's saying she did not request that. Okay, what address did you send it to? Well, we sent it to her address. What address? Because she didn't get no debit card. So clearly you sent it to somebody else's address. So what address did you send it to? Oh, we can't tell you that. You're going to have to call Direct Express. Oh, so we got to call somewhere else now and wait on the phone for 2 hours again to find out what address her benefit was sent to that she didn't even ask for. Okay, well, I don't believe you. I believe you have the address right in front of you, but can't force you to do it. So what's the phone number? We get the phone number. We call the phone number. And you got to have the debit card to get anybody on the phone. We don't have a debit card. This, at this point, is laughable. Now, it would have taken another 2 hours to get back through to the Social Security Administration to complain and be like, this is a joke. The phone number you gave us, we have to have a debit card number to even get a human on the phone. But we had no debit card number because there is no debit card. The fraudster has it. By then, I was literally about to blow a blood vessel in my brain. So we got some other phone number on the internet, called that number, and they were like, this is the wrong number. You got to call the other number, which is the number we just called. Well, guess what? We call that number. You have to have a debit card number to call that number. We don't have a debit card number. Well, here's the complaint number. So we called the complaint number, and that number didn't work. So then we were back to calling the number we did. She said, well, just call that number and don't press any buttons. Okay, so we did that, and finally we get a human on the phone after another 40 minutes. So this was a person at Direct Express, which is owned by Comerica Bank, which can go to hell, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I said it. I did. By now, I'm pretty pissed off about this whole situation. Still not resolved. I just want y'all to know. So we get on the phone with this gentleman. He wants us to give him the debit card number. Sir, we don't have a debit card number. He wants us to tell him our address. I told him her address. He was like, well, that's not the address we have on record. You don't say. Well, what address do you have? I can't give that information out. Oh, really? So we got the real client on the phone with you. And you can't tell us what her address is, but you're telling us that her address ain't her address. Can you tell us where this debit card was sent that we didn't ask for? I said, was it sent to New York? If you look at my first video in this series, you'll see a mention of New York. Her benefits going to New York. He was like, yeah, it was sent to New York, but I can't give you the address. Oh, he says, well, does she have, and then I said, well, someone called you on January, blah, blah, blah day and changed her address to New York. And you guys had no problem doing that. He's like, well, does she have any friends or relatives there? Okay. I really don't even see how that could be relevant because she don't live there. Who cares? Who she might know that lives there or don't live there. She don't live there. She ain't been there and she don't live there. And you can't even tell me what the address is. But you had no problem putting it on there. And she ain't been there in years. She don't have her card. She don't have her money. How do we get her, the person that is supposed to be getting her benefits, to her and away from the fraudsters? Can you please help me with that? Oh, well, first of all, we're going to have her fax in proof of her identity and utility bills. Oh, did you have the fraudsters do that? Because I'm pretty sure they don't have utility bills in New York in her name. But you don't have no problem putting that on her account, that address, with no ID and no utility bills. Well, I can't explain how that happened. Well, I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. You're going to restore her address that was originally on there and take the fake one off so we can avoid future problems. Why are you making me jump through hoops to fix your error? Now, her February Social Security payment is gone. It's spent. And you don't even want to fix it. Make it make sense. Can someone make this make sense? Now, this, of course, was after we went through verification procedures and everything. But, of course, you couldn't verify the phone number or the address because that stuff didn't belong to her. But their information doesn't even match with the information at the Social Security Administration because they just contract for them. I said, how come your systems don't even communicate? You don't even have the same information they have at the Social Security Administration. You have some random address and some random phone number that don't even belong to her. Don't even match the Social Security Administration. And they can't even communicate with me about where they sent her benefit. I have to call a separate number. Like, this doesn't even make sense. And you're not even fixing it. Well, we put a fraud block on that card, but unfortunately, most of the money's gone. Yeah, if you were a fraudster, I'm pretty sure you would have spent the money too. So how do we get the money back in her hands? Well, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to put a supervisor on the phone because I'm really limited about what I can do with it. We've never seen this before. You never seen this before? I find that really hard to believe because fraud happens every day, and I'm pretty sure with the way your system is set up, it probably happens every day there, and you see it all day long. But okay, so nothing got resolved. Absolutely nothing. This relative's still missing their February payment, and they put us on hold to speak to the supervisor. And guess what? Waited on hold for 10 more minutes. Someone answered the phone and hung up on us. So we tried to call back and they were closed. That's the kind of service you get when you have your money stolen by Jamaican scammers and you go through the government to try to get restitution. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. They don't care if you're eating air sandwiches with your lights off and your rent's not paid. They don't care. They don't care if you're not paying for your medicine that you might need. They don't care if your bill's getting paid, honey. Because they're gonna leave at 6 o'clock when the business is closed. Time to go home. And for 3 weeks before that, they just gonna tell you to call somebody else to fix your problem. Nobody wants to fix your problem. Nobody wants to track down the money. Nobody cares. And while all that time was wasted, all that money was spent and it's gone, and nobody has fixed it. And it is almost a month later. This is what is happening to the elderly in this country, and to the disabled in this country, and to the people with dementia in this country. If they don't have an advocate, how is a person with dementia, or how is a person with PTSD, or how is a person with anything, cancer, or God knows what, supposed to navigate some bull crap system like this? Someone please explain to me. And you wonder why you have scammers targeting people like this. Because they are the easy targets. And who has the energy to deal with this? I don't. But if I don't do it, nobody's going to do it. Now I'm going to have to spend another day dealing with this. And I'm not giving up. And if I could put these scammers in jail with my bare hands, I would. And if you're watching this, I'm not done, because I don't give up. So I also want to say this debit card bullcrap, I'm just very unappreciative of it. That you can, this is a haven for scammers. Debit cards, you know how easy it is to commit fraud with debit cards? A scammer gets a debit card in their hand, all they gotta do is sign the back of it and go to town. Like there's not, they create their own PIN with it, so you don't have to worry about learning someone else's PIN, and they sign the back with their own signature and they just go shopping. You know, you go reroute someone's social security check out of their bank account. You get the debit card issued to you. Of course, it's in the person's name still, but so what? You put your signature on the back and you go spend it. Nobody ever asks you for an ID when you go swipe a debit card at the grocery store, or, you know, go swipe it at the gas station or what have you. Like, debit card fraud is super easy. And by the time you catch up to it, the money's gone. And it's hard to trace and hard to track. So the fact that Social Security Administration is issuing benefits on these cards and the systems don't even communicate with each other is very alarming. And I wasn't even aware this was a thing or this was even happening, but I'm aware now. And I'm making anyone else that might not be aware too. And God forbid if you are an elderly person or have a family member that's elderly that is getting their benefits on one of these cards that might be subject to fraud, I feel for you having to navigate a system like this. Layers and layers of bull crap just to get your fraud taken care of. Like, I can't even imagine. My family member doesn't even need this debit card. They have a bank account. The fraudsters just use that as a way to exit stolen funds, which I can imagine probably happens. And the Social Security Administration wasn't even sharing that information. It was like going to the dentist and getting impacted wisdom teeth pulled to even get this information, which I wasn't even able to get without a banker sitting there because they could no longer say, go to your bank and have them trace it. Okay, I got the bank here with me now. Tell me to go to the bank because I'm at the bank. Then, oh, they magically figured out that it went to a debit card after 3 weeks. Lazy. No, they just wanted to keep answering calls so they could get their call volume up and have their talk time down and get me off the phone. They knew exactly where the money went the whole time. Uncaring, unprofessional, and you have elderly people out here starving because of this bull crap. And I'm just really upset. That's why I had to jump on here. I look crazy. I look like I don't even know, through a war today. I don't even care. I just had to share this because I learned so much today. Like this. I've been through the war. Still don't have anything resolved. But yeah, fraudsters are using direct express debit cards to exit stolen funds from the Social Security Administration, funds they're stealing from seniors, funds they're stealing from disabled people. That is what they're doing to exit stolen funds. Hey, I would too if I was a fraudster. Look how easy it is for them. And there's no follow-up, no follow-through. Nobody cares. Nobody's researching it. Nobody's tracking it down. Nobody cares. No wonder they're doing it. No wonder they're doing it. So that is why I'm sharing. Just in case you have the situation happen to you, God forbid, or someone in your family rather, you will have this information in your arsenal and you'll say, hey, I wonder if this happened to so-and-so. Maybe this is what happened. And you won't have to painfully sit through 3 weeks of red tape and bull crap and phone calls that go nowhere. And you'll know, let's look at this first. Let my pain be your learning experience. That's all I got for you now. I'll keep you updated and posted on the process. And pray for me. I need prayers, like for real, for real. I need to go to bed. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful night. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Stay away from the scammers. Bye-bye.